close do you want it? Touchy, touchy. Oh, you don't know how lucky he was that he didn't high side there.
Bugged it up the inside into the H-TEC. Oh, that's a big move. Maxwell will take the win on the road. Daniel Falzon takes the win on combined time. The lights are out and we're away. Herfoss has gone nowhere. The bike must have jumped out of first gear.
Look at that, up the inside. What a great move.
Oh, that's a big moment. Oh, that's Halliday. Looks like he has crashed out of third position. Herfoss has surged back into contention. They're out, we're away. Great start from Crew Halliday, who's got a really good jump off the second row of the grid. In fact, he's gone past Josh Waters as they make their way down in towards turn one for the first time.
Up the inside goes Maxwell. What a move. Can he hold it? Yes, he does. He pushes Herfoss wide. Maxwell is through now.
Halliday, oh, look at him up the inside.
Look at Maxwell up the inside. He's through.
Oh, Starring comes straight back at him. Here is Maxwell now, all over the back of Herfoss. Maxwell has taken the race lead. Wade Maxwell and Crew Halliday celebrate a double Yamaha podium.
And welcome to Hidden Valley Raceway. We're here in Darwin for round 4 of the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship, powered by Motul Pirelli. I'm Emma Francesco, joined again by Steve Martin, and thank you to you all at home for joining us yet again. Of course, we've had 3 nail-biting rounds already, and at this stage, well, the championship is heating up very quickly. Would you believe a privateer is in the lead, Daniel Falzon, and of course, it's only 9 points separating the top 3, Steve.
Yeah, it's an amazing start to the year. 9 points, as you say, Emma. We've got the main protagonists, the guys that we thought we'd be seeing out the front, Wayne Maxwell and Troy Herfoss at the moment, battling it out in second place. They're even on 130 points, trying to chase down that man, Daniel Falzon. But there's more than that, Emma. We've got Glenn Allerton back from injury, which is good to see. And also Troy Herfoss and Brian Starring have a new toy to play with. They've got the new 2017 model Honda Fireblade here, racing for the very first time on Australian soil.
And it is a very good looking bike, I can tell you that much. I mentioned him just a little bit earlier. Luke caught up with our championship leader. Let's see what Daniel Falzon had to say.
Leading the Australian Superbike Championship is none other than privateer Daniel Falzon. Daniel, how are you feeling leading into round 4, mate?
Yeah, look, I'm feeling really confident this round. I think that we have a very competitive bike for round 4 in Hidden Valley. It's a long straight here, so we needed a bike with a lot of horsepower, and I think we do have that this round.
Now, during the break, you flew off to China to participate in the Pan Delta Superbike Championship. How was that experience?
Well, you couldn't really sum it up in this interview, honestly. It was a crazy experience and a lot of fun. We're going back there later in the year, so hopefully we go back there a bit more competitive and get on top step of the podium rather than just finishing in third like we did.
Well, it's a great way to warm up and lead into Darwin, mate. Best of luck.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Well, you know what I love seeing about Daniel Falzon is no matter how hot it is, he still jumps off that bike cool, calm and collected. It certainly is a very physical track, Steve.
He might be cool, calm and collected now, Em, but you know what? He's not going to have it all his own way out on this circuit because it does promote very tight, close racing. Daniel will be in a group fighting for the lead. He's not going to have it all its own way. Really looking forward to seeing that.
Well, I know that you love this track and you know it very, very well. Wayne Maxwell also knows it very well. He took us for a bit of an in-depth look around Hidden Valley Raceway.
Hidden Valley Raceway has the longest straight on our calendar. It's 1.1 kilometres. As we enter down here, we click top gear just after start-finish line, scream down to turn 1 at over 290 kilometres an hour. As we enter turn 1, we go from 6th back to 2nd. It's a great passing opportunity. Expect to see 3 to 4 bikes wide slipstreaming. We enter carrying so much brake, using the camber to get the bike rotated and accelerate out hard. We come through 2, 3 and 4, it's blind, 4th gear. We enter turn 5 here, hard on the brakes, back to 2nd. then a quick squirt up to the hairpin. There'll be a difference between guys using first gear and second gear. It's going to be a good one to watch during the race. Turn 6 is the slowest corner on the track. We come out of there, it's hard acceleration as we get down to turn 7. We enter there, it's all about edge grip as we go down towards the final sector. The last sector is all about joining the dots together. We enter here, back to second gear, hard acceleration down to the final turn. It's downhill as we enter the last turn. Got to be careful not to overcook it to ensure you get a good run onto the straight.
Well, as you can see, the massive crowd here at Hidden Valley is getting all pumped up for this round 4 clash at the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship, powered by Motul Pirelli. Steve Martin, the weather is absolutely fantastic. It is really hot up here. The racing action so far this weekend, practice and qualifying, has all been extremely hot just to match the weather conditions. And as Dave McKenna finishes up after his first scheduled stunt show for today, we get ready to go down to the grid as the first of our YMI Superbike races is ready to get underway. And on the grid is Wayne Maxwell, the sole Yamaha factory team rider for this weekend, and Luke Heisman's with him.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm here with the enforcer, Wayne. Mate, some blistering times during quali and practice. What was left to talk about in the garages last night?
It's going to be a long way around Hidden Valley here. We've got the massive, as I said, we've got the massive long straight, 1.1 kilometres, hard stop. It's going to be very physical, and it's going to be a race of attrition, I think, and hopefully we're there at the end to make the most of it.
So what factors do you think are going to work in your favour for this race?
We've done some long runs. The bike's good on the tyres. The Yamaha 1M's working great over the long run, and hopefully that physically I feel okay on the bike. So it's going to be, I'm not going to kid myself. It's going to be tough, but we're going to put it all out there and see if we can just close down a few more points in this championship.
And just with our pole sitter, that's certainly big news. Second pole for the season, Daniel Falzon.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely unbelievable. We've had a strong pace all weekend, and it's come away with probably one of the most frantic qualifying sessions. They gave me one lap to beat pole position, and we managed to do it, so I couldn't be happier.
We chatted about this yesterday as well. Everyone this season that's had pole position has gone on to win the round. I'm sure you're thinking about that, and you've got a clear track ahead of you to do it. Yeah,
that's right. I know we've got the pace to win the race. It's about getting a clear first lap and not getting caught up in any of the things that happen behind us. I really think we can pull away from this race.
The man with the number 1 on his bike, Troy Herfoss, starting from 4th today.
Yeah, 4th place, a good start for the new SP2. Trying to get some development done over the race weekend. Hasn't been ideal, but the main thing is we've made forward steps each time on the track, and we've closed the gap to, where we're almost at the right race pace to challenge for the victory. But these guys are riding fast this weekend, so it's a matter of hanging in there at the start, and then we'll see what happens with the temperature and the tyres and stuff like that.
Well, how important is this start? Because you've got a massive run down to turn 1, 4 bikes wide.
Yeah, I haven't been here since 2011, so I'll let you know in about 30 minutes.
Best of luck, mate. We'll chat to you afterwards.
Thank you.
Just with Josh Waters, I know that last time it was all about the balance. You've done further modifications to the bike since then, and you're just improving and improving each round.
Yeah, this weekend so far has been really good, always in the top 3, so this race is going to not be easy, but give it our best and see, hopefully end up in the top 3.
Last time you were racing here, you did very, very well, so I know that you love this track. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks heaps.
He certainly does have an enviable record at the Darwin Hidden Valley circuit, does Josh Waters. 5 race wins, 1 second place from 6 race starts, and 3 pole positions to go along with that as well. But Daniel Falzon will start from pole position for today's racing, 0.084 ahead of Josh Waters in their qualifying laps yesterday. Wayne Maxwell also on the front row of the grid. The second row of the grid sees the 2 brand new Honda SP2s make up 4th and 5th position with Troy Herfoss and Brian Starring, with Robbie Bugden, the Queenslander, who's adopted the underdog tag this weekend, rounding out the second row. The third row will be Crew Halliday in 7th position and Corey Turner in 9th. Glenn Allerton failed a fitness test this morning and unable to take up his position in position 8 on that third row. The 4th row will be Bo Beaton, Michael Blair and Matt Walters. 5th row of the grid will be Troy Gunther, Matt Harding and Kyle Buckley. Callum Spriggs out of 16th. Sloane Frost, the Kiwi, debuting a brand new GSXR 1000 this weekend in 17th, and Mitch Levy in 18th. Next row in 19th, 20th and 21st will be Aidan Coote, Adam Senior and Ben Stronach, the 2 West Australians, having a great battle over the weekend. And the final row of the grid will be the local man, Mick Kelly, Ashley Fleming from Western Australia, and another local, Stan Whiting, on board bike number 58. revs rise. We're about to sizzle in the top end, and I mean that in more ways than one. Red lights are on and we're away. Great start from Daniel Falzon there, who got the real good jump. Wayne Maxwell looked like he didn't get the best of starts from the front row of the grid either, but it's Falzon with Waters coming up the inside. Herfoss is up and around into third position as well. Where is Wayne Maxwell? Oh, Matt Walters and one of the Hondas having a bit of a coming together there as they went through turn one as well.
Maxwell's way back in the packs, down in sixth position. Gee, he's really struggling to get pace in the first lap at the moment, is Wayne Maxwell. I don't know if it's he's having trouble getting the bike off the line, but it's making the rest of his race very hard. Daniel Falzon, on the other hand, he's the starting machine. If he ever gives up road racing, he can take up drag racing.
Don't ask him about his last visit to a racetrack. I heard it was quite eventful. Anyway, the field now streams their way out of Suzuki and through Yamaha corner and up towards the technical back end of Darwin's Hidden Valley circuit, with Falzon leading, Troy Herfoss and Josh Waters giving chase at the moment as we look backwards now from Troy Herfoss's brand new CBR 1000 SP2, the debut of this machine here this weekend. Let's have a listen as he comes onto the long Hidden Valley straight. Well, there you go. You can hear that new SP2 screaming away in the top end there as the field streams their way down across the start-finish line. I think Herfoss may have just had to play second fiddle there to Josh Waters as they come down in towards Motul turn one. Robbie Bugden, the man that's adopted the underdog tag this weekend, putting in a great ride as we jump on board with Wayne Maxwell with a lot of work to do. Currently trying his find his way past Michael Blair, the man from the Central Coast, on board his privateer Yamaha YRD supported machine. Blair's gone wide. Maxwell, can he take advantage? Starring looking for a way up the inside of Robbie Bugden there as they come down through the YMF hairpin. Of course, Brian Starring also on the brand new SP2 Honda. They've been working extremely hard on the electronic setup of that motorcycle this weekend as we jump on board with Robbie Bugden screaming BC Performance Kawasaki. See the amount of body work and body language required to get through the technical section of the Hidden Valley circuit. He's still managing to hold off the SP2 of Starring. This will be interesting to see, Steve, how Brian Starring goes in the slipstream. Can he pull out from the back of Robbie Bugden's bike and make a passing manoeuvre down into Motul turn one? Still not quite able to get the job done as we see Corey Turner still putting on an unbelievable performance on board that bike number 52, the privateer Yamaha. Was the leading rookie at the last round of the championship at Winton, and this weekend he is riding absolutely out of his skin. He's been fast all weekend from the first practice session. Crew Halliday still can't seem to get onto the back of Turner as he's just starting to get away slightly, and Robbie Bugden is all over the back of Crew Halliday. There's Brian Starring up the inside. You can see the big number 67 on the side of the Honda SP2 there as Bugden has to play second fiddle. Still out front it is Falzon leading from Waters and Herfoss as Brian Starring now tries to focus in on the back end of Crew Halliday's Yamaha.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Waters is just sitting in there nicely at the moment, tucked in behind Daniel Falzon. One thing I will say about the Suzuki, if you look at it, it's majestic on the circuit. It just holds its line beautifully. It's never out of shape. A great job. But Bo Beaton, he's doing a great job up there at the moment.
Debuting the brand new HI-TEC suspension package this weekend for race precision as well, and doing a great job, as was Wayne Maxwell. Had a big lunge on the brakes there at Robbie Bugden. But you can see how fast that BC Performance Kawasaki is. Maxwell, even though he was in the slipstream, and we know that Wayne Maxwell is one of the latest breakers in the business, just couldn't quite get past the late breaking Queenslander, Robbie Bugden, as they come up through this undulating section of the circuit and into Pirelli corner, which has caught many out this weekend. Crew Halliday just got caught out as well. He ran wide. Brian Starring and Robbie Bugden go through. Now Wayne Maxwell's got to try and find his way past his teammate from last year. Crew Halliday, of course, running in the privateer outfit this year and doing a great job. It's his crew chief Glenn McMahon's birthday this weekend as well, so crew would love nothing more than to celebrate with a couple of race wins. There you go, you can see Crew Halliday just ran wide in Pirelli corner. Not the first person to do it this weekend, and certainly won't be the last. That really cost him momentum out of Pirelli corner, and he was a sitting duck for both Brian Starring on the Honda SP2 and Robbie Bugden's BC Performance Kawasaki ZX10. Listen to that Yamaha, don't they sound fantastic as they come through the Yamaha Motor Finance corner. Speaking of Yamahas, let's have a look at this man on board with Wayne Maxwell. You can see how wrong he got it. Incidentally, at Pirelli corner again, and Robbie Bugden's gone straight past. So Maxwell had put the move on. No, that's Falzon. Falzon is down. Our race leader is out of the race at Yamaha Motor Finance corner. Oh, this is going to have massive championship implications now as our race leader and championship leader coming into this round. Daniel Falzon is off the bike. That will put Josh Waters and Troy Herfoss out in the lead. Corey Turner still doing a great job on board his privateer Yamaha, but you can see there, Josh Waters leads from Troy Herfoss. Here we go, a replay now of this crash. Oh, Falzon just lost the front going into YMF Hairpin. Luckily, the bike stayed running. Daniel was able to pick the bike up and get straight back on. Good quick thinking there from the South Australian to get back on the bike straight away, but he's going to have a bit of work to do now. Try and make his way back through the field. It's all about trying to get as many points as possible now for Daniel Falzon. Back on board now with Robbie Bugden on the BC Performance. Kawasaki doing a great job in a strong championship position coming into this round too, Robbie Bugden. As we see the battle now as Brian Starring has finally managed to get past the lightning fast privateer this weekend. Corey Turner, we mentioned Bo Beaton debuting the brand new HI-TEC suspension package. Corey Turner actually debuted the suspension package last round at Winton and came out as the top. Oh, hang on, we've got another rider down. That looks like one of the BC Performance riders. I think that's Kyle Buckley. He's lying on the ground prone there. He's at Pirelli corner once again. It's caught more people out. Unfortunately, the Dunlop shod Kawasaki of Kyle Buckley is down. Red flag stoppage. Well, that's going to be very interesting there. Kyle Buckley obviously in a precarious position, and the race officials have called a red flag stoppage. Let's have a replay now of this incident. We're on board with Daniel Falzon. Coming into Pirelli corner, trying to get the bike pulled up. Oh, he's come into contact with Buckley, and they've both gone down at Pirelli corner. You can see Falzon there getting back on his bike, once again trying to get back around. Well, the riders have come round now and they've taken up their positions on the grid before we have a restart. And Emma's down on the grid with Kelvin Riley from BC Performance.
Yeah, guys, just down on the grid with Kelvin Riley from BC Performance. What can you tell us?
Hey, yeah, so I think we just had Kyle Buckley go down in that crash there, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure what happened. Hopefully all the riders are okay and we can get them back to pits and get them repaired as soon as possible.
Robbie's been doing great all season. We can see his bike just behind us. He's not in a bad spot.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy where we started that race then. It's going to be a long race, 17 laps, and now they've stopped it and restarted it. It's going to be a different race altogether again. So let's see how this pans out. We'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot, Kelvin. Guys, back to you.
Well, let's have a quick break here from Hidden Valley in Darwin. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Hidden Valley as we do the NT at the fourth round of the 2017 Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship powered by Motul Pirelli. As we said, it will be an 8-lap journey to decide the race winner of Yamaha Motorcycle Insurance Superbike Race 1 here at Hidden Valley. In the starter's hands, lights are on, revs rise. Oh, big jump start there back in the field. We saw who it was, Steve, but we'll let the officials sort that one out.
That was Adam Senior. So unfortunately for Adam Senior, I think he's going to have a bit of a jump. Mitch Levy there got a good start, but it's the number 21, the Suzuki man, Josh Waters, back out in front where he needed to be.
And it looks like the whole field has got through turn one a lot more cleanly than they did in the first effort when we tried to get through there at the start of race number one, as we jump on board with Wayne Maxwell, who hasn't got the best of starts once again. The Wayne train's left himself with a fair bit of work to do now as they come through Pirelli corner. Both the Hondas are up there right behind Josh Waters. Robbie Bugden's also placed very well. And it's Wayne Maxwell. Matt Walters has got a great start on board the Rover Coaches Kawasaki Connection machine. Having probably one of his better weekends of the year so far on board the Kawasaki ZX-10, Matt Walters. A few changes for Matt in the team. Got some new suspension from Europe. And they're running a different package this weekend as what they have all year. And so far in this race, it seems to be going very well. Bo Beaton right behind and Corey Turner. Aidan Coote also putting in a great ride on board his yellow ZX-10. Bike number 66 there as they come round through the final corner and out onto the straight for the first time in this 8-lap sprint.
tell you what, one name we haven't talked too much about at the moment is Troy Herfoss. A very good start for him. And if anybody tweaked anything in between sessions, you've got to imagine it was the Honda team. The first time on the track, the first ever race, Superbike won here on that new 2017 plate, completely different to the model before it. They're developing as they go, and if they haven't tweaked that machine, I'd be surprised. And I think they have, because look how close he is to the lead already.
Well, that's exactly what you get, Steve, when you've got two world-class riders like Brian Starring and Troy Herfoss, and a team that's been together for so long. Oh, Wayne Maxwell in late on the brakes there at the Yamaha Motor Finance corner, but also the Honda, as we were saying, the team led by Paul Free and Sean Clark. It has been a great debut for the brand new Honda CBR 1000 SP2 here this weekend. One man that's got his sights set on the back of that Honda is Wayne Maxwell as he tries to put on a charge. I think he may have even closed up a bit onto the back of Brian Starring's machine. Let's have a look and see how well Wayne Maxwell gets out onto the straight here. As they come down the Yamaha Motor Finance straight, Maxwell tucked in behind the screen. You can see him just starting to utilise the slipstream now. Pulls to the inside. That Honda may be fast, but the Yamaha is faster when it's got the advantage of the slipstream. And Maxwell moves up one position in a clinical manoeuvre. You can see also through turn one, Wayne Maxwell, that typical style where he doesn't seem to use anywhere near as much lean angle as a lot of the other riders. And here we go, an onboard replay of this move by Wayne Maxwell, utilising the slipstream there, pulls out. Absolutely perfect timing from Wayne Maxwell, and he moves up one further position into third place now on the road. He's now got his sights set on Troy Herfoss in second ahead of him. He's had to work hard in this one, Wayne Maxwell. Didn't get the best of starts, had to come from a long way back. Robbie Bugden, well, always pushing on very hard on board the Kawasaki ZX-10. It is a real wrestling match around the back end of this circuit. All the riders saying they love the circuit so much, but it's certainly by no means easy. As he comes round through HI-TEC Batteries now. Well, out front, Josh Waters has got a half-second lead over Troy Herfoss as we start the final lap.
Troy's, he's a class act, and I mean, he's raced overseas as well. He's ridden different motorcycles with this sort of equipment as well. I think, different people go about things differently, and I mean, like, ultimately, Herfoss at the moment is the man that sits in second.
But our race leader, Josh Waters, negotiating the final stages of this final lap of race one in Darwin. Fourth round of the 2017 Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championships. Troy Herfoss has not given up. He has closed in, if anything, as they come round the Yamaha Motor Finance hairpin through Suzuki now. And down through the Yamaha corners as they climb up the hill. The camera really doesn't show how much undulation there is there at the final stages of this Hidden Valley circuit. Josh Waters knows that he has got a very hungry Troy Herfoss who wants to win on debut. Wayne Maxwell has not given up as well. If Wayne Maxwell was a fraction closer at that final corner, he would have been putting a move on Herfoss. But I think we can see our top four are clearly ahead of Robbie Bugden now, and Josh Waters will come to the line. He takes his 6th victory in 7 starts at Hidden Valley. Troy Herfoss, a great debut for the brand new Honda SP2. He'll take 2nd place, and Wayne Maxwell, well, a greater recovery than we've seen from Maxwell in quite some time to get up and take 3rd place on the podium. And considering how his start was, I'm pretty sure that he will be very, very happy with that result. Well, Waters celebrates. Obviously a very happy man. Debut victory for Suzuki X-Star in 2017. Takes the win by 0.453 of a second over Troy Herfoss, and Wayne Maxwell rounding out the podium. Brian Starring gets 4th. Robbie Bugden in 5th. Corey Turner will take an unbelievable 6th place, his best result of the year so far. Matt Walters will finish in 7th. Mitch Levy in 8th. Crew Halliday in 9th. And Troy Gunther rounds out the top 10 for the Next Gen Motorsports BMW team.
Have a look at that smile. So well deserved. Josh Waters, well done.
Yeah, unbelievable to win on the all-new G6R. 1000's awesome. Huge thanks to my team, new team, and to first time being on the podium and with a win is just awesome. So huge thanks to those guys.
And obviously it was a restart as well. You got 2 speedy starts and so much pressure on you this weekend, I feel, to grab a win.
Yeah, when I was here in 2010, 11 and 12, I went all right. So, everyone seemed to have a lot of pressure, and no one puts as much pressure as I do on myself. But, awesome to win the first race. The second one's going to be hard, but we'll try and make it a little bit easier to ride and try our hardest.
So exciting for us, the new SP2 on debut this weekend, and literally on Thursday was the first proper laps we have ridden it. One day before that, but we just had to be so cautious with changes we made because we don't want to take a step backwards. So we've gradually crept up, and second place is, you know, it's a dream start for this bike. And honestly, I don't think we could have hoped for a better result with the old bike, so I'm really happy with the change.
We had to sort of recover then and get through the traffic and put some forceful passes on. Probably spent a little bit of energy doing that, and yeah, the other guys were sort of gone. They were riding an awesome race. So congratulations, Josh, their first win there. You know, it's great to see an old mate back on the podium, and my good old main rival here, Troy, also. You know, so we'll have a look at some stuff and come out and race too, and hopefully try to make a little bit more of a race to get it away a bit cleaner at the start.
Well, don't go too far away. That is only the tip of the iceberg here at Darwin's Hidden Valley. Coming up after this break, it's the Motul Supersport class, race 2.
Tyres are always a major talking point at any race meeting, but more so here in Darwin when we factor in the heat and the humidity. So we thought, why not get the lowdown on what everyone's talking about this weekend from the experts here at Pirelli.
For this weekend, we've brought about 500 tyres with us, about 3 different solutions for Superbike and for Supersport. Fronts, 2 different compounds, very similar, but one is a little bit tighter in construction, so it has a different feel. Performance is very similar, but it's a different feel for the rider, so they feel a little bit more confident with the tyre. We think it will run the full race at a consistent pace. We've found a couple of solutions that are working for different riders. The majority will choose a particular front, a particular rear. We've already ran them for Thursday and Friday, ran race distances, and we know that we've got a product that will run the entire distance and run fast. You know, we'll be at lap record pace for most of the race. We'll start with tyres on warmers for around about 45-50 minutes. We'll have that'll bring them up to around about 80 degrees Celsius. For on-track running pressures, around about 120 degrees Celsius. So reasonable jump, but that's what the tyres operate at. So it's hot enough to fry an egg if you want.
The Supersport bikes are rolling out onto the track for the second of the 2 Motul Supersport races for today. But before we turn our attention to race 2, let's have a look at some highlights of a very exciting race number 1 for the Motul Supersport class. Off the line, it was a great start from Tom Taparis, but it was a bad start for the pole sitter Marchiotto on board the Repsol Triumph. He went backwards from the start. Tom Taparis and Ted Collins got a great start, but on the inside, Mason Coote on board bike number 53 was also very sprightly off the line. But the big field made its way through turn 1 safely, but then at turn 5, the corner that has caught many out this weekend, a few riders running wide, most notably the local man, Sam Lambert on board bike number 21. Early on, it was Sam Muldoon on board bike number 70 that was making a charge, and also Damon Rees, the Kiwi, showing a lot of pace in his first ever visit to Hidden Valley on board his Honda CBR 600. Getting sideways down in towards turn 1, Sam Lambert and Mason Coote having a good battle on board their Yamaha R6s as they made their way through the very deceptive Motul turn 1. But then it was turn 5 that caught out Justin Case on board bike number 486 with a spectacular dismount as he made his way around the circuit, and obviously very disappointed. But Tom Taparis went on to take a fantastic victory, 1.6 seconds ahead of Ted Collins. In third place, it was Damon Rees on board Tony Rees Motorcycles Honda CBR 600. Down on the grid now is Emma with our championship leader and the man that will once again start from the front row of the grid, Ted Collins.
Thanks, Phil. Just down here with Ted Collins. Firstly, can we explain the sign?
Yeah, my teammate Scotty had a bit of an incident yesterday. He's in hospital today, so hopefully he's all good and mends real quick and gets ready for the next round.
We wish him a speedy recovery. You just missed out on that first position in the last race. I know you'll be pushing for that win.
Yeah, you know, Tom got me there at the end in the last one. He had a little bit more pace than me at the end, so now I'm going to be trying hard this one to get up. Just stick with him and then hopefully, yeah, be able to take the win at the end.
Good luck, Ted. Over to you, Luke.
Thanks, Em. Take 2 with Tom Taparis and the Cube Racing team. Tom, winning race 1, you got to be feeling pretty good, mate.
Yeah, race 1 went to plan. It was just a controlled wind right off the front, and just managed the gap pretty much the whole race. But I'm sure this one's going to be a bit of a different story. Marcus was out of luck there in the end, and I'm sure he'll be strong towards the end of the race and keen for a win.
So you're obviously feeling pretty good on the bike. Did you change anything about the setup?
And pretty much running exactly how he ran in race 1, and really just want to replicate what I did earlier, and you know, if not, just get a good point haul for the championship.
Best of luck, Tom. Em, over to you.
Thanks, Luke. Mason Coote, you just missed out on that podium position in the last race. What's your strategy going into this one?
Same again, you know, just try and get a good start, put my head down and work real hard. You know, the guys are setting a cracking pace up the front, and we're not that far behind them at the moment, so we'll just see what we can do.
We've seen so many great battles. Obviously, this championship is very tight and very competitive.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw yesterday in qualifying the top 11 bikes, I think, were within 1 second, so it's anyone's race. Any one of the top 10 could be up the front there on the podium, so we'll see what we can do.
Thanks, Mason. Good luck.
Thank you.
Fastest in qualifying was Marchiotto. He will start from pole position with a 68.715, the benchmark for qualifying this weekend. Tom Taparis and Ted Collins will join him on the front row of the grid. The local man, Sam Lambert, plenty of fans here this weekend. He'll start out at position number 4, along with Sam Muldoon and Damon Rees, who was on the podium in race number 1. The third row of the grid is the experienced Chris Quinn, Mason Coote and Sam Condon, the young rookie doing a great job here this weekend in his first visit to Hidden Valley. Row 4 will be Nick Limington, the young South Australian, along with Cambridge Olivier and another local man, Mick Hefferon. Watch out for him, he's been going incredibly quick on his Kawasaki ZX6. Fifth row of the grid will be Jordan Carlson, Aidan Hayes and Jake Prudy, with 22 riders to start the grid for this second Motul Supersport race. Lights go on, and we're away. Great start from Marchiotto in this one. He's got a much better start. Tom Taparis has gone backwards though, from second position on the grid, as they head away from our commentary position down towards turn 1. Kyoto got the jump off the line, but he has gone backwards as they drive down towards turn 1.
Nick
Bit of a bump there.
Yeah.
Nick Limington's got a great start though. Look how far up the grid he was, Steve, as they went through turn 1 for the first time, and it is Collins that leads from Coote and Rees.
Yeah, that's exactly what Collins wants to see and Taparis doesn't want to see. It's pretty much the opposite of what happened in race 1, but as they turn into the Pirelli corner at the moment, it's Collins with already like 2 or 3 tenths of a second lead over Lambert in second position.
I actually thought that was Mason Coote in second position and Sam Lambert on board bike number 21. A great start there from the second row of the grid for Sam Lambert.
Well, if you think back to race 1, Lambert didn't get such a great start, even though he did jump the start and got a penalty, but he worked his way through the field and ended up on the podium if he hadn't jumped the start. A nice move there by Mason Coote as well. He jumps up through to grab a position as well.
Yeah, and Sam Muldoon's also up there on bike number 70. He's got his way past Damon Rees on board the Honda as well. Then it's Kyoto is the next rider through after the Honda rider and our current New Zealand Supersport champion, Damon Rees. He pulls out of the slipstream as Kyoto. Muldoon goes one side, Kyoto goes the other side, and Damon Rees gets swamped as they make their way down towards turn 1. And right on the back of those 3 riders as they battle for position is Tom Taparis as Sam Muldoon just nerfs Damon Rees out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the gap now. That gap has opened up even more. Ted Collins seems to be on a mission like he was last time out. That gap is about 1.2 seconds with Mason Coote on the number 53 machine now, taking over second position from Lambert.
Well, as they come up towards the Yamaha Motor Finance hairpin, it is Mason Coote into second with Lambert back to a third position. Kyoto right on the back of them as well. I think just on the back of this group as well is bike number 99, Mick Hefferon, the local rider on board his Kawasaki. He's putting in a great ride at the start of Motul Supersport race number 2. Here's a replay of Muldoon just going, thank you, I'll go up the inside, and just nerfing the New Zealand Supersport champion, Damon Rees, out of the way.
He doesn't back off though, does he? He keeps that lean angle and
there's a big crash, it looks like, on the exit of turn 1.
That's Kyoto.
And it's Kyoto down.
Oh no, that's the second time he's been down in 2 races.
That looked like it could be the hairpin, in fact.
Yeah.
As they make their way across the start-finish line to complete the second lap. It looks like, unfortunately, Marchiotto is down for the second race in a row as Taparis comes up the inside of Damon Rees to move up 1 further position.
Yeah, Taparis has definitely got a lot of work to do. He's caught in traffic. Here's a replay. He's on the brakes hard. He's hit the dirt. He's hit the dirt under brakes. Run out of tarmac on the right-hand side. He's gone off with a lot of speed there.
Looked like he was drifting out, just couldn't get the bike back online because he was already on the brakes.
He was on the brakes and he ran out of road on the brakes, and unfortunately, let's hope that he's okay. It looks like he was up and walking away. Just a bit of pride hurt there, I think.
The unfortunate end for Marchiotto, who's shown a massive amount of pace this weekend and looks smooth throughout the rest of the weekend. But our current leader is Ted Collins on board the Next Gen Motorsport Saint Unbreakable Suzuki. He has got a 1.6 second lead as they go through intermediate 2 over Mason Coote. Sam Lambert's back in 3rd position. But I'll tell you who's on a charge now, and that is Tom Taparis. He is right onto the back of Sam Lambert, the local rider on board bike number 21, as he pulls out of the slipstream. Has he got enough drive on board the Kawasaki to get past? He does.
Yeah, he will have, because he's tiny. Sam Lambert's quite a big lad, and he's gone straight past. And Muldoon's there too now. So both of those guys working their way up towards the front. Collins doing his job out the front, but Taparis at the moment will be just watching Ted Collins zipping off into the distance. He really does need to make a move, and he's doing a good job. He's got Mason Coote up front there.
Well, Lambert just came back up the inside of bike number 70, Sam Muldoon. Muldoon repays the favour. There's been 2 overtaking manoeuvres in 2 corners. Right behind them is Reese. And Mick Hefferon on board 99 is sitting right in that battle as well, doing a great job on board his machine. It's great to see him in the championship here in his home round. But it's never going to be an easy race for Tom Taparis when you've got Sam Muldoon right behind you and pushing on as well at the same sort of pace.
No, absolutely not. And Taparis is on a bit of a mission. He's just set his fastest lap of the race at 109.8. This is his first clear lap though, as we go over the line. Just to give you an indication, the leader, Ted Collins, has just gone through at a 110.1 versus a 109.9 for Coote and a 109.7 for Taparis. So Taparis caught up 0.4 of a second that time through. And Damon Reese up the inside there. Geez, he's always loves being in a battle, doesn't he?
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of pace that they can get down to, because in the first race, Ted Collins was the fastest man in the race with a 109.153, 2 1/1000ths of a second faster than Tom Taparis' fastest lap. At the moment, as you said, Steve, a 9.6 is the fastest lap for Ted Collins, and that was on, I think, the 3rd lap of the race. They're on the 4th lap at the moment, or they've completed 4 laps at the moment. They're on the 5th lap of the 14-lap journey, and Ted Collins has got a 1.6 second lead over Mason Coote, with Tom Taparis closing in on the championship second place man, Mason Coote, on the ARC Racing machine bike number 53.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a lot hotter. It's constantly been hot, but it's just that few degrees hotter than it was when we had the race earlier this morning. So you know, that could explain the lap times, but you know, 0.7 of a second per lap is a lot to lose from one race to the next.
Well, fastest man in the race so far is Cambridge Olivier on board bike number 81, who's back in 9th position. He's uncorked a 109.597. So it just goes to show you how competitive the top 10 is in the Motul Supersport Championship, as the Mason Coote makes his way through Shark Corner with Taparis closing in.
Yeah, Taparis is closing in, isn't he? He's just gathering 0.5 tenth on every corner on Mason Coote out front. But I just can't stress enough what a good job Mason Coote's doing. He's pretty much the underdog, really, I would say, of the class.
Well, I don't think anyone expected him to go as well as he did at the first round. And that was one of the reasons why he thought, I'm going to have to do the rest of this championship. Yeah. And it was great to see Andy Offer and the people that got behind him to make sure that he could make that championship bid to be an absolute reality. As they come down now to complete the 6th lap, let's go down to Luke and an update from the pits.
Thanks, guys. I'm just in Mark Kyoto's garage with his dad, John. Do we know what happened down there on turn 1?
No, unfortunately, I've got no idea what happened. He just came in and parked the bike. And a fair bit of damage, but he's okay.
He's standing and he walked back to his truck, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, he's disappeared to the van. Obviously not very happy.
Thanks very much, John. Boys, back to you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Marcus Kyoto. Showed such great form throughout practice and qualifying, and it just, for one reason or another, it didn't come together for him today, did it, Phil?
No, it didn't, and he'll have to go back, lick his wounds, and come out fighting at the next round at Morgan Park. Tom Taparis has closed right up onto the back of Mason Coote, but once again, as we noticed in the first race, late on the brakes, getting into the corner, a bit of patter from the front end of Tom Taparis' Kawasaki, and I guess he's getting later and later on the brakes, trying to make up that distance as well.
Yeah, what he's doing now, you can just see him trying different lines. He's trying to find a way through on Mason in front at the moment. He's definitely got the pace, but it's very difficult to pass around this track. The one advantage that Tom has got, of course, is that the ZXR's got a good top end, and he's tiny and light, so he should be able to get a good slipstream. He's in the perfect position now to hopefully get past. But I'll tell you what, that R6 of Mason Coote's not slow either. Here he goes. There goes Tom Taparis. He's through, though, on the brakes. He's up the inside into turn 1, into Motul.
Well, the big thing is holding the line once you get in deep on the brakes, and he's done that. And he's now got good acceleration out of the Yamaha Motor Insurance corner and drives up towards the next real place where he's got to try and close in some distance, and that is through this combination of corners that leads from the Pirelli corner up to the very tight hairpin, and then the next section of track where a lot of the riders in Superbike class are actually holding one gear all through the next section as they shift out of here, holding one gear to save those precious tenths of a second. We heard that Wayne Maxwell on his trap mat, he goes back to second gear, but his teammate Glenn Allerton holds pretty much one gear all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing, through this section of this circuit, it's completely different to the first half of the circuit. You're all on your edge. You've got to join the dots up, as we also heard Maxwell say earlier on. You really have to be pushing the limit and having both wheels slide all the way through there to get the most out of that section of the circuit.
Can Tom Taparis and Mason Coote close down Ted Collins' lead in this second Motul Supersport race? Join us after the break for the exciting conclusion. Back to Darwin's Hidden Valley Circuit as we do the NT at round 4 of the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship. It's the dying stages now of Supersport Race 2. Who will come out victorious? Well, that's Taparis that puts in his bids now to try and close up on in Ted Collins, who's got the lead.
We know one thing. We know that Taparis does have the pace because he did pull away in race 1 from Ted Collins on the Suzuki. So all he has to do now is catch him. That gap is down to 1.1 seconds. Plenty of time left to go. Four laps left, so he can do it.
Well, on that last lap, Ted Collins did a 9.9. Taparis did a 9.6.
Yeah.
So he's taken 0.3 of a second out of Collins' lead on that last lap. Heffernan, Muldoon and Sam Lambert are still just trying to desperately hang on to this top 3. In fact, there's only just over 3 seconds that cover the top 5.
Look how late on the brakes Tom Taparis is into the YMF hairpin there. He really did catch up 1 or 2 tenths there. That's probably part of the circuit where he's making up a lot of time on the man out in front of the Suzuki, Ted Collins.
As Tom Taparis comes over them, that's where Kyoto crashed, I think, coming over that section there, which is a very technical and tricky section.
Yeah, what it is, it's quite blind up there, and as you change direction on the gas, you're on the brake and heading towards the edge of the track. It looks like he may have misjudged it to me and held the brake until off of the circuit.
So our top 6 are onto the Yamaha Motor Finance straight. This is, of course, the 4th round of a 7-round championship. It marks the halfway point. We're on the home stretch after this round. Second race for the Motul Supersport category here at round 4 in the Northern Territory, the great circuit of Hidden Valley. All of the riders love this circuit, and Tom Taparis is loving it at the moment because he's starting to very slowly drag back in Ted Collins. Mason Coote set his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, Steve, with a 1:09.525. Still the fastest man in this race was Taparis' 9.3. 0.2 of a second slower than in race number 1.
Yeah, I tell you what, Mason needs to set some fast lap times because the trio behind Heffernan, Muldoon and Lambert are slowly catching that gap up. And if Coote wants to get on the podium, he needs to keep on it.
The top 6 are all still lapping in the 1:09 second bracket. Jordan Carlson, who's had a great recovery from his disastrous qualifying and practice form, is up into 7th position and putting in a great ride ahead of Nick Leamington, the young South Australian, who's also having a great ride. Chris Quinn and Cambridge Olivier rounds out the top 10 on bike number 81.
Well, there's nothing in it now. Ted Collins knows he's got company. He would have gone past that time round and seen on his board plus 000. That means, and he knows that his good mate Tom Taparis is nipping at his rear wheel.
Yes, Taparis was very close as they were on the brakes into Motul Corner Turn 1 on that occasion. Looks like Collins has stood the bike up and got a couple of bike lengths as they make their way up towards Pirelli now. Taparis closes in once again on the brakes. We're on lap 12 of 14, so the time is running out.
Look into the hairpin there. He really closes up to Tom Taparis. He just jams that brake on and just catches right up into there.
And also didn't have the front end patter that we saw earlier on in the race too. He's looking a lot smoother.
He is. I think he, you know, I don't know if it's quite bumpy on the edge of the circuit here when you're on through this section. If you leant right over and you're in the wrong spot, it does get quite bumpy out there.
So Taparis is right onto the back of Collins now, and he can probably... Oh! Lost the front as he went through the HI-TEC Batteries corner. Has a quick look behind.
Well, there you go. He's absolutely on the limit, isn't he?
He is, and look how much distance he's lost. Just that one little moment has lost him a lot of space. He's gone from setting the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, Tom Taparis, to being 1 full second slower on that last lap.
Yeah, that mistake certainly cost him a lot and given Ted Collins perhaps the breathing space that he needs if he's going to win this race. I mean, look at that gap now. It's going to be a big, big lap if Tom Taparis can catch that much time up.
Yeah, he's only got 1.5 laps to go too as Tom Taparis, and Ted Collins has put in a marvellous ride here, a marvellous ride of consistency, Steve. He has been so consistent every lap. His fastest lap is only, less than 200ths of a second slower than his last lap. So he has been just circulating around the whole time at the same sort of pace and let everyone make mistakes trying to catch him up.
Well, absolutely. I bet his heart's thumping right now as he heads into the last lap. He'll like to see that he's got about a 0.5 to 0.7 gap over Tom Taparis at the moment. But you can be assured that Tom will not back up because Mason Coote has closed that gap down now to Tom Taparis, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Let's have a look at Mason Coote's lap time as he comes across now to complete the penultimate lap. They're on the final lap now of the Hidden Valley circuit. Tom Taparis was a 9.9. Well, Mason Coote has done a 9.4. He's taken half a second out of Tom Taparis on that lap. And importantly, Taparis was 0.2 of a second slower than Ted Collins.
Yeah, this is not going Taparis' way at the moment. Mason Coote is getting quicker by the lap. But you've got to think he's got to consider the championship as well. He's still second in the championship at the moment. It'd be silly to throw it away and perhaps lose the points. Difference between finishing third and second. So
in fact, that's our top three in the championship, in the top three positions in this race. Mick Heffron, the local rider, in fourth position, and he is, if anything, closing in on Mason Coote as well as we come round to the final section now of this last lap. It is Ted Collins on the Next Gen Motorsport Safe Unbreakable machine, leading at the moment as they come down now to the final corners. Tom Taparis will not be able to take victory.
Coote's gone for it.
Coote's gone up the inside. He's gone wide as he comes down the corner. Oh, no, it's a big crash for Mason Coote. And he has crashed out of the certain third position. And Mick Heffron will get up onto the podium. Muldoon comes through and takes fifth position. Sam Lambert will come through and get a good position as well. In fact, Muldoon was fourth. And Mason Coote.
Heffernan takes third.
That's unbelievable performance there from Heffernan, who he said was closing in on Mason Coote, who cannot believe what has happened at the final corner. And Tom Taparis was lucky to get out of jail there because it looked like it could have gone pear-shaped for both Tom Taparis and Mason Coote at that big lunge at the final corner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he thought he had to do it, but, you know, we've got a replay now. Look, he sets it up, he nips up the inside, he carries the corner speed through, he's already got a rear slide, loses the front, runs wide. He could have backed out of it then, but he's got on the gas hard. It's put him into another high side. He's crashed 5 times in the same corner.
And unfortunately, it was the fifth one that sent him over the high side, and he just looks at his bike and thinks, oh no, what's happened there?
No, it's
and
not
the championship points have gone begging. And that may even put Tom Taparis up into an outright second place in the championship.
Yeah,
so that incident has massive championship implications for both Tom Taparis and Mason Coote. The results now for Motul Supersport Race 2. Ted Collins, Tom Taparis and Mick Heffron, the local, our top three. We'll be hearing from them shortly. In fourth place, it was Sam Muldoon. In fifth place, it was Sam Lambert. Sixth was Nick Leamington. Seventh, Chris Quinn. Eighth was Cambridge Olivier. Jordan Carlson in ninth. And Jake Prudy rounded out the top 10 with Damon Rees, our podium man in race number 1, finishing in 11th place ahead of Aidan Hayes on his debut for Cube Racing here this weekend in 12th.
That was a really good race. I just got a really good start and pushed as hard as I could towards the end. You know, the track was pretty hot then, so it was a bit slippery, but no, to take the win, I'm so stoked for that and the round win as well. So
I've got a shocker of a start and worked my way up to 10, and then I had a moment on the front, I think with 2 laps to go, and yeah, that made me vulnerable to Mason on the last corner on the last lap, and he had a dive up the inside, and I don't know what happened after that. I saw him on the ground on the cool down lap, but anyway, I'm happy to take a second. got some solid points in the championship. I think we're P2 in the championship now, which is really good considering where we've come from. And yeah, we move on to Morgan Park. It's a track that I liked last year on a little bike, but yeah, we'll get there and test on the big bike and see if we can do it right like this weekend.
Got a good start again and just tried to go consistent as I could, and yeah, just slowly worked my way through. I didn't think I had enough to catch up to the podium, but unfortunate for Mason, but he crashed out and it gave me the podium.
After an action-packed round 4 at Darwin's Hidden Valley Circuit, Ted Collins now enjoys a 46-point lead over Tom Taparis, and Mason Coote is now in 3rd position. Jordan Carlson in 4th, Sam Muldoon in 5th, Mark Yoda, who has slipped back to 6th position, Lymington, Quinn, Cambridge Olivier and Damon Rees round out the top 10 in the Motul Supersport Championship.
Honda are definitely one of the strongest contenders in the paddock. In fact, they're last year's champions. Here at Hidden Valley this time out though, there's a new surprise in the box. The brand new 2017 Model 5 blade that the team are putting on track for the first time. One man that does know the ins and outs of these CBR 1000s is Sean Clark, of course the team manager of the Crank Protein Honda team. Sean, I noticed first of all you've got an old bike and a new bike here. Why is that?
As we're racing the SP2 model, it's extremely limited in what's available around the world. And these are the only 2 that we can get into the country for this weekend. So hopefully we can get some more later on in the year and the customers can buy them out of the dealer at the same time.
Okay, tell us the differences though. What are the major differences between the old bike and the new bike?
Obviously the biggest difference is a lot more electronic aid, full throttle by wire now, a lot of big traction system, engine braking system. It's so much more advanced than the old bike. Just brought it up to the level of somewhere closer to like MotoGP for the general road guy now. You can come out on your normal road bike, exactly the same as what we use.
Well, it's one thing to hear about all the technical blurb, but one man that's actually ridden the new bike is Brian Starring. And I've got to ask you, Brian, how do you find this bike compared to the old model?
It's amazing. It's incredible. It's kind of everything we were anticipating and everything that we expected. It's really, really nice to ride. It's really smooth. The way it delivers the power especially is nice and soft, and it's probably gotten rid of that old way of the superbike aggression, you know. So yeah, the bike's it's quite tame, very user-friendly, and yeah, we're enjoying finding how to get the most out of it here so far at Darwin. We're learning as we go along here, but we've hit the ground running and we've had a really good start to the weekend here with a solid Friday, and yeah, we're looking to pull through with some good results.
Although the HI-TEC Batteries 300 Supersport class isn't the premier class here on the weekend, it is one of our most important because it helps guys like Scott Nicholson behind me learn their trade.
I feel like this class is important to me because it's a good stepping stone. It's helping me with my racecraft and bring my speed up before I enter the bigger classes like Supersport and Superbikes.
It's written in Australian Superbike history. Guys like Mick Doohan, McCoy and Mladen, they all went through the smaller classes, just like this man behind me, Max Croker.
I love riding in this class because the competition is just so tough.
Troy Bayliss is a man who knows the pathway to success. That's why he's got his son, Ollie, learning here as well.
Obviously, the production class, so many great riders have come from there in the past. The bikes are cheap, easy and fun to ride, and I think it really makes for the best racing. If you can cut it in that class and be at the front, well, it goes to show that you're definitely going to be a fast rider.
The young gladiators of the HI-TEC Batteries Supersport 300 class are getting ready for their race number 3 of the weekend. Before we have a look at race 3, let's have a look at the highlights of a very exciting race 2 as they made their way down into turn 1 for the first time. It was Billy Van Eerd on board bike number 29, the KTM, that took the lead. But Motul Supersport this year's positions have seemingly changed at every single corner, and it wasn't long before Tom Edwards made his presence felt with a big move around the outside at the Yamaha Motor Finance hairpin Max Crocker, also on a KTM, took his turn at the lead as Tom Edwards once again had a lot of faith in the front end of his Yamaha R3 and went around the outside of Billy Van Aert. Making his way through the field, though, was the former Moto3 champion Tom Bramich on board bike number 44, and he was up into the lead group and making his presence felt as well. Reid Batty also thought that it was high time. He had a lead at the front as well on board bike number 33, and then it was Billy Van Aert and Jack Mahaffey that took up the lead running as they went through Motul Corner. Jack Mahaffey put 37 bike, the JDS Moto machine, into the lead, but then on the scene very shortly after that was Tom Bramich on board bike number 44 taking up the lead. And as we said, positions seemingly change at every single corner. Bramich ran wide at turn 5 that has caught many riders out this weekend, and his fellow Yamaha R3 riders Tom Edwards and Jack Mahaffey made their way up the inside. Ollie Bayliss was also in the action as well, but as they came across the line it was Jack Mahaffey by 0.038 of a second over Tom Edwards, and Tom Bramich rounded out the top 3 with Ollie Bayliss, our leading under 300 Supersport rider, finishing in 4th. Riders are coming down now to take up their positions on the grid for race number 3, and Ollie Bayliss will start from pole position on the Cube Racing Kawasaki Ninja 300. Jack Mahaffey and Tom Edwards, Yamaha R3 mounted, will join him on the front row of the grid. Reid Batty also on a Kawasaki, Billy Van Aert on one of those very rapid KTMs, and Yanni Shaw on another Kawasaki make up row 2. Tom Bramich and Corey Briffa will start from row number 3, with Scott Nicholson unable to take up his position on the grid due to injuries sustained in yesterday's racing. Max Crocker, Ty Lynch and Zach Levy round out row 4 in a huge field of HI-TEC Batteries Supersport 300 riders. Well, there we go. Green flag at the back, red flag at the front. We're in the starters' hands now, getting ready for a start. HI-TEC Batteries Supersport 300. Revs rise for the final time this weekend. Lights are on and we're away. Great start from everyone on the front row of the grid. Watch Billy Van Aert as he tries to make his way forward. He's already in the slipstream of Tommy Edwards as they make their way down towards turn 1. There he pops out on board bike number 29. His teammate Max Croker's also got a great start as well, and he'll go up the inside, not quite into the lead. That's Tommy Edwards around the outside.
That was a great move by Tommy Edwards. He stuck it in there. He definitely wasn't leading on the breaking into that corner, but around the outside, he's done it a couple of times this weekend. He's held his line, and he's a strong rider. There's Shelby Turner at the back there, with the pink fairing on the front of the bike. Billy Van Aert puts himself in second at the moment. Max Croker behind him. Jack Mahaffey in 4th, and Ollie Bayliss in 5th.
Yeah, also too a great start there from Reid Batty on board bike number 33. He was having a look up the inside of Ty Lynch on board bike number 85. Not sure if he quite got the job done. No, Ty Lynch is still there in position number 8.
Tom Bramich is just at the back of the field there too, at the back of that pack.
He's got a good start and got off the line well and into that real battle.
He just sits behind Ollie Bayliss at the moment, and Ty Lynch just behind him. Corey Briffa as well in that bunch, and Brandon Demry's off to a good start too. He's already made up 4 places. Didn't qualify that well, but he's on the back of that pack. So the current champion with a little bit of work to do.
Well, down the straight for the first time, it is Tommy Edwards on bike number 71 that leads from Jack Mahaffey and Billy Van Aert. Then it's Max Croker on 41, is up into 4th place. Ollie Bayliss is sitting in 5th position. Tom Bramich, as we said, got a great start. No, that was I think that was Billy Van Aert, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's Billy Van Aert. He's on the grass.
He's an extra dirt tracker. He'll get that bike back, no problem.
Well, yeah, he's wicked it up.
But he's lost a lot of track position, has Billy Van Aert.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he was falling back into the clutches of Laura Brown.
Yeah, well, you say back into the clutches, so Laura Brown does have the lap record at Phillip Island, I think.
Yeah, she's currently sitting in 15th position, so she's doing a very good job at the moment, is Laura Brown.
Well, you've got to remember that Laura's just coming back from a pretty bad arm break.
Yeah, but she's actually had a couple of big injuries over the last year or so.
She has, yeah, but...
massive broken leg and a broken arm at Wakefield Park.
Yeah, so she's improving race by race here this weekend, and she's in the points at the moment, so it's good to see, along with Warwick Nowland, saw them both out on track last night, and they were just walking through the circuit and trying to pick up whatever they could that could help Laura throughout the weekend.
Well, they come up here recently and did the endurance race that was on. Well, who better to have than a teammate than a former dual world endurance champion?
Yeah, absolutely. Warwick certainly knows how to race a bike for a long time. He hasn't raced for a long time, but I bet you he's still fast.
Well, as they come down the straight there, looks like Ollie Bayliss is making a lunge for the lead. Can he quite
no!
Oh, no, it's a big contact there between Max Croker and Jack Mahaffey. Croker takes advantage of the fact that there's the asphalt there. Gets the KTM turned around, and he'll be back further in the field than what his teammate Billy Van Erd was. So both of the KTMs have gone from the front of the pack to back in the middle of it as Tom Edwards leads Jack Mahaffey.
I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Tommy Bramage. Bramage has just gone past Ollie Bayliss there, nipped up the inside, nice manoeuvre, puts himself into third position on track behind Edwards and Mahaffey at the moment. And Mahaffey makes a move up the inside now into the hairpin, into the YMF hairpin there.
Well, have a go at the ages of these guys at the front. Jack Mahaffey, he'd only be 17 or 18 years old. Ollie Bayliss is 13 or 14. Tommy Edwards still races in the GP Juniors. So he's only incredibly young, but they've all got so much experience. So Tom Edwards has been racing overseas.
Yeah, I know, it's incredible, isn't it? But this is the pressure cooker that we need to create these young champions. These are going to be the future of Australian racing, and one or two of these guys, these are going to be names that you can hopefully watch one day on MotoGP. That's what this class is all about. It's to turn these young riders into superbike riders here, win some championships here, get some fan base and head overseas.
Well, one of the fastest riders on track in that lap was Brandon Demery on board bike number 1, starting to make his way forward. He's up into 6th position. Oh, there's a few sitting up there. That I think Mahaffey got shoveled outside, had to sit up. And he's actually been overtaken now by Brendan Demery on board bike number 1. So Demery's up into 5th position, trying to make it 4th as he goes up the inside of Reed Batty. Can't quite get it done. It is Edwards, Bramage and Bayliss that lead this race at the moment, with Reed Batty and Brandon Demery starting to close in on them behind, and Jack Mahaffey, who went from the lead back to 6th position in the blink of an eyelid.
Yeah, and I mean, like, how good has Mahaffey been this weekend? The whole field have caught up now. Tommy Edwards has got a nice little lead now. Bramage is on his tail, but Brandon Demery, definitely the man on the move. From 13th on the grid, I think he started, up to less than 0.7, 0.8 off the lead at the moment. Impressive stuff by Demery. Can he pull it off? Ollie Bayliss looking for a way back pass now.
Well, he's done the same as he did in the first race. He's managed to stay a little bit quiet through the first half of the race, but in good position.
Well, he's in a better position than he was. He was about 8th or something in the last race, in race 2, and he worked his way up onto the podium. This time round, he's closer to the front earlier.
Well, there's 0.8 of a second, 0.6 of a second covers our top 6 at the moment, with Mahaffey in 6th position.
Reed Batty there. Reed Batty runs off. Oh, he's missed the tarmac, but he pulls it up. Plenty of runoff there. That's another thing that the riders like about this circuit.
Yeah, well, he's out of that battle now, which is a 5-way battle. Then we've got bike number 85, which is Ty Lynch, Zach Levy in that battle as well. I think Corey Briffa is in there as well on board bike number 23. He's had a couple of big incidents this weekend too, as Corey Briffa. Doesn't mind a bit of biffo down into turn 1.
No, he certainly doesn't.
Reports yesterday.
There's 0.3 covering the top 5 guys there. That's incredible stuff.
Well, there's a couple of Yamaha R3s there that are covered by not very much. But at the front, it is an R3 benefit at the moment with Bramage in 2nd place. Edwards leading. Ollie Bayliss in there upholding the under 300 honours for the Cube Racing team in 3rd position. And that means now, I think, that the next under 300 rider will be unsure, back in 9th position. With, unfortunately, Reed Batty back in 13th now after that off-track excursion at turn 1. In fact, he's only 1 position ahead of Laura Brown, who's moved up to 14th place ahead of Max Croker.
Ollie Bayliss has just taken the lead. He's got a great drive onto that start-finish straight. But look at Demery on the inside now. Demery's come through. He can't do it.
Well, Bayliss has gone from 3rd to the lead to 3rd in the length of the straight.
Yeah, that's all right. He's doing all right. It's the...
Mahaffey's gone from 6th to 1st.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this class is all about. Don't get too excited just yet. It's going to heat up in a minute.
There's only 4 laps to go. It's almost like Moto3, isn't it?
It is.
The World Championship Moto3.
Well, yeah, in some ways it's better, you know. Oh, Ty Lynch, unfortunately, it looks like he's got some sort of issue, mechanical issue there. He hasn't crashed, so not sure what the problem is for him, but he's going to call it a day.
Well, 5-bike lead group at the moment makes their way down through the Yamaha corners. I'll come up to this very technical section that finishes a lap here at Hidden Valley with Mahaffey back into the lead. ahead of Tom Edwards. We saw them go head-to-head at the last round at Winton, where Mahaffey came out on top over the entire round. In fact, he dominated both the Supersport 300 and the Yamaha R3 Cup races there that weekend.
It's good to see Zach Levy up there as well, just behind Brandon Demery. Demery's still on the back of that group at 5. Any one of these 5 guys have got a chance of winning this race. They're all pretty much, you know what? Jack Mahaffey just did the fastest lap of the race in 18.7. That's probably pretty close to the qualifying record.
Down into turn 1. No, is that Ben Bramage going up the inside? Sorry, Tom Bramage going up the inside of Brandon Demery. So we've got Ollie Bayliss into the lead now on the 7th of 10 laps. That's sure to change at the next opportunity. That next opportunity is Pirelli corner with Mahaffey coming back up the inside. Bayliss relegated to 2nd. Tom Edwards still in 3rd place.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ollie Bayliss is doing a pretty stellar job out there at the moment. You've got to, I mean, we're watching the bikes riding around on track, but the thing that we're not looking at is the fact that it's under 300 and over 300. These R320s obviously have a little bit of a capacity advantage over the under 300s, which the ZX, sorry, the Ninja Kawasaki that Ollie's riding is a 300cc machine.
Yeah, both the big single-cylinder KTM RC390s that have got the capacity advantage but less cylinders were up there in the lead. They were surprisingly fast on the straight here this weekend too, Steve, but they've unfortunately had on-track incidents that have pushed them way back in the field. In fact, Max Kroger has recovered now to 13th position and Billy Van Aert up to 8th position.
Yeah, both of those guys are running a pace capable of matching the guys up the front, but due to the fact of running off or whatever issues they've had, they're now back down the pack.
Well, Bayliss, who was sitting in 2nd position only half a lap ago, is now back to the rear of this lead 5-bike group, with Mahaffey leading the freight train. Look at Tom Edwards, looked like he was sitting up there almost going on a tour as he makes his way up to the back of the circuit and the Pirelli corner. Bramage tries to go up the inside, can't quite get the job done.
Brandon Demery's lost a bit of time there too. One of the back markers.
Had an incident. He did have a problem with the bike cutting out in yesterday's race.
Well, he had his hand off the handlebar there just a minute ago. What that was for, I don't know, but he's definitely lost about 1 or 2 seconds off of this group. He was right back in this group, but now he's definitely dropped off, and Ben Bramage has rejoined it.
Well,
Tom Bramage, sorry.
Brandon Demery's last lap was at 19.9. We'll have a look what he does when he comes around to complete this lap. He will certainly be back into the 20s. So down to complete lap 8 of the 10-lap journey. So 2 more laps to go. Bayliss getting the slipstream there as he tucks into the conga line as it snakes its way down the long Yamaha Motor Finance straight here in Hidden Valley.
See, the other thing that they'll be looking at there is the finish line. They'll be eyeing each other up as well. Can they come out of there in 2nd place as we head into turn 1? Tommy Edwards a little bit sideways. They'll be just seeing if they can slipstream and get past by the line. So things like that will come to play now. Good, fair racing there. Mahaffey leaving a lot of room for Edwards on the outside, not pushing him off the circuit. Good to see. The blue flags are out, indicating that the slower guys that are about to be lapped need to move over to give these front guys a bit of a chance. And Bramage takes the lead at the moment too. Good for him.
Yeah, so it's the 2 Toms that lead. Bramage from Edwards, then it's Jack Mahaffey and Ollie Bayliss. That back marker has just got a haircut somewhat similar to mine, I think, Steve, as they make their way through the Yamaha Motor Finance corner.
Short and sharp.
It is still Bramage that leads. Of course, both of the Bramage boys racing in this category. There is no room to get through there. How they both managed to stay upright, we'll never know.
Well, there was obviously plenty of room because 2 guys got through.
Oh, that was bravery with a capital B from Tom Edwards there.
You mentioned at the start of this that these guys are 14, 15 years old. They don't know anything else other than bravery.
That's a fair call. I know what I was like when I was that age. There was just no fear, and here comes Mahaffey up the inside. He's gone back into the lead now. What can Ollie Bayliss do? He's not going to get the double slipstream because he's out in the middle of the circuit.
Bayliss is in a good spot out there. He's nipping past everybody around the outside.
He's got the inside line though as they come out of the corner.
Mahaffey's just got a great line through that corner. It really has.
Oh, Bramage is right out onto the ripple strip.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right line on these things. These boys are just making it up as they go.
If it's on the track, it's possibly somewhere near the right line. Bayliss has gone from 2nd back to 4th.
Look at that by Tom. That's a brilliant move on Tommy Edwards there. He uses all the road and a little bit more, but makes it stick.
Well, here comes Bramage. He's trying to hunt down Mahaffey now. who's got a 3 bike length lead over the rest of the field. Tommy Edwards out of the seat there. Can Ollie Bayliss get past? He does on the way out of the Yamaha Motor Finance hairpin and down through that fast right-hander that leads up towards the Yamaha Motor Insurance corner. Still Mahaffey, he's in a good position here. Jack Mahaffey, oh, he's got around the outside of Shelby Turner and given the rest of them a lot to deal with in these last couple of corners. Mahaffey has done the traffic perfectly.
He has. This worked out beautifully for him, but the other guys are in the bit of spot of bother as they head towards the line for the final time.
I think Bayliss could get second here behind Jack Mahaffey on the road. Edwards comes back at him, but no, Bayliss gets second and takes the win in the 300, under 300 class. But Jack Mahaffey, what a ride. The way he dealt with that traffic was almost like a seasoned veteran there. That was an unbelievable ride from the JDS Moto team rider. Here comes the rest of the field round through now. Reid Batty, who should get third position in the under 300 category, comes across the line to take the checkered flag. The news coming through on our timing monitors now. Race winner Jack Mahaffey has been penalised 2 positions. That means Ollie Bayliss takes the win by 0.131 of a second over Tom Edwards, with Mahaffey back in third. Bramage will take fourth. Brandon Demery in fifth. Zach Levy in sixth. Corey Briffer will finish seventh ahead of Billy Van Eert in eighth. Joel Kelso, the local man, the youngster, in ninth position. And Yanni Shaw rounds out the top 10 of the revised results.
Pretty happy I took the 3 wins out of the round. Wishing I was getting overall points, but you know, all that matters is my champion points, and I'll need as much as I can get from Winton, as I didn't finish a race. But you know, it was a real good race. A massive thanks to everyone coming down, Dad, Cube Race, and everyone in the team, and Pop from coming down from Taree.
It was a really good weekend. I ended up coming first in the first race and second in the second race, and then ended up winning the last race again. So it was a really good weekend overall, and got some good points out of this round, so looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, a lot of close racing again. Would have been exciting to watch from the outside as it was being behind the bubble. But yeah, really good race, and a big thank you to Pipe, Eastern Security Doors and Timber Panel Products.
After round 4, let's have a look at the championship points for both the over and under 300 Supersport category. In the HI-TEC Batteries over 300 Supersport, it is Tom Bramage leading the championship from Brandon Demery, Jack Mahaffey, Billy Van Eert and Zach Levy. In the under 300 Supersport category, we have Reid Batty leading the championship from Yanni Shaw, Drew Sells, Ollie Bayliss in 4th, and Scott Nicholson rounds out the top 5. Coming up after the break, the second race for the Yamaha Motor Insurance Superbike class from Darwin's Hidden Valley.
Suzuki X-Star, Josh Waters, it really is the perfect combination. We're talking about a world-class team and a world-class rider here in 2017 for ASBK. Now we know Josh loves this track, so let's see if he can make it count this weekend.
I really like Darwin. I've been lucky enough to race here the previous 3 years that they've been up here, and they've all been successful for me. So back here, my memories of the track are always good, and I hope I can do like I did last time I was here, but it's going to be really tough. This year the championship's extremely tough. Every time I get to ride it, it's getting better and better. Big thing is we've got more parts all the time, so the bike still isn't released in Australia. It's just been released in Australia and throughout the world, so yeah, we're always learning stuff, and this weekend's been great so far, so hopefully the races are good. The series is great at the moment, and the field is extremely tough. I think the rules are not like other places in the world, because it doesn't matter if you're, it does matter if you're on a factory bike, it helps a lot, but the rules, my bike, anyone in the paddock can get all the same stuff, so it's great like that.
Another piece to the puzzle is that this year, Josh gets to reunite with technical guru Phil Tayton.
When the opportunity arose to work with Josh again, as we did back in 2012, and we won the championship then, and we've won previous championships with Josh prior to that, it was a combination of Suzuki wanting to get back involved, and my heart's always been with the ASBK and wanting it to flourish the best it can, because you know, Australia has been over the years one of the best training places for riders to go overseas anywhere in the world, and I'd like to see that return with a new motorcycle. You know, with no technical development or advice from anywhere really, because we were the first ones in the world to put it on a racetrack at the start of the year at the World Superbike, and of course you're working from ground up with the. Look, the bike is a fantastic bike out of the crate for road bike use and track day use, but when you start to push it like Josh does, then it requires a lot of other adjustment, and that's where hopefully my expertise comes in and we make some right choices. But it's all about suspension, engine tuning, and chassis development and adjustment. But it's just adjustment of what Suzuki have already manufactured and got to start with.
Riders are on the grid as we get ready for Yamaha Motor Insurance Superbike race number 2. Josh Waters won race number 1. He's got an enviable record here at Darwin's Hidden Valley. Can he do it again? Let's go down to Emma on the grid as the tensions start to rise.
Yeah, thanks guys. We've absolutely loved this round here in Darwin, and two very important people that make the event happen. Tony Sievers joins me, Assistant Manager of Sports and Community Events. And I tell you what a big deal to have a huge event like this here in Darwin, Tony.
Yeah, it's great, Ella. Darwin's lovely this time of year, and we encourage everyone to come up. We've got the Superbikes back, which is fantastic for Darwin and Darwin people and Australia. You know, and I can't praise it enough. I went on the back with Troy Bayliss earlier, and then fantastic.
How was that?
That was fantastic.
I heard it's a bit crazy.
Bit crazy, yeah. Front wheel up in the air most of the time, and I was hanging on for dear life, but I loved every minute of it. Fantastic.
Thanks, Tony. And Peter Doyle, our CEO for Motorcycling Australia. Congratulations on another very successful ASBK event.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be back in Northern Territory. I was fortunate enough to come up here back in the 90s when we first came up here, and we were greeted then by everybody. It's a great place to be, much better weather than down south at the moment, and yeah, we're all happy to be back.
Thanks, Peter. Over to you, Luke.
Thanks, Em. I'm here with Adam Senior, who's made the way all the way from Perth, WA. Mate, how was race 1? Not quite the result you were after.
Nah, look, like the start of the first part of the race was great. We're having a good battle, and I was happy with the pace we had. But just on the restart, I sort of got a bit excited and jumped the start and kind of blew my race for myself. So it was all over by then pretty much. So hopefully this race we can do a bit better and not get too excited on the start.
So what's the plan and the tactic from here? What's the realistic goal?
Realistic goal, get as far forward to the front as I can.
Fantastic, mate. We wish you the best of luck. Em, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Luke. Just here with Brian Starring. And the last time you raced here was back in 2010, so welcome back to Darwin.
Yeah, thanks. Showing my age a little bit, isn't it?
Did you want to tell us the age? No, how about this brand new SP2? How are you feeling on the new bike?
Yeah, Honda have released such an awesome new motorbike. We're so lucky to have it here, especially for this race. Yeah, look, this is like the new age of superbike. This bike, I think, will turn a club racer into, you know, someone that can make a really respectable lap time around a local circuit. So it's awesome for us to ride, and I think, you know, we did it justice in the first race, and we'll look to go, you know, a couple better for this next one.
You finished just outside the podium for the last race. Strategy going into this one?
Yeah, just need to be a little bit more aggressive. I did a good way of making my way through the field in the first start there, but I was probably a little bit too patient towards the end of that second race there, so I might try and capitalise on any opportunity.
Good luck. Back to you, Luke.
Thanks, Em. Glenn Allerton, you were supposed to be lining up on the grid this weekend. What's happened?
Yeah, look, my arms just it started to lose strength, so yeah, I had an assessment done this morning after the warm-up. I had a lot of pain in my left arms and wasn't able to pass the assessment, so yeah, the choice was made for me to miss the race by RaceSafe, but I respect that. You know, after doing it, I just didn't have the strength needed to ride one of these bikes. You know, down in turn 1 at 280 k's an hour and go back to 60 k's an hour, it's a big ask 17 times, so yeah, I mean, happy with how I went on the bike. I had a lot of pain, but I was within 0.8 of the pole time, which was good, but just work towards Morgan Park and hopefully getting stronger.
Absolutely, mate. We'll keep up the practice, and we'll see you in Queensland.
Yeah, thanks.
Over to you, Em.
Thanks a lot, Luke. Just here with Robbie Bugden, and a little something special on the bike this weekend. If we can just take a look down here near the seat. The underdog. You've been labelled the underdog this season. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I don't know. It's
I guess it's a double-edged sword. I guess in one aspect, we're probably doing things people didn't expect, but you know, on the other hand, we expect a lot of ourselves, and you know, we'll keep trying to do the best we can.
Can you give us a bit of an update on Kyle?
Yeah, it was a real shame for Kyle. He's obviously a young fella with a mile of talent, and he's sitting in hospital at the moment. I think he's got some damage to his foot or his lower ankle. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. He got caught up in someone else's mistake, but yeah, he's a good young kid. I'm sure he'll be back better than ever.
Good luck. Gloves are going on. We're getting ready to fire away for Superbikes race number 2. It's back to you, boys.
Thanks very much, Emma. And as per qualifying, Daniel Falzon, Josh Waters and Wayne Maxwell will start from the front row of the grid, with Troy Herfoss, Brian Starring and Robbie Bugden on row number 2. Row 3 sees Crew Halliday and the real surprise packet from this weekend, Corey Turner, start out of positions 7 and 9, with Glenn Allerton not starting this race again, out of position number 8. Row 4 will see Bo Beaton, Michael Blair and Matt Walters. Row 5, Troy Gunther, Matt Harding and Kyle Buckley, due to the injury sustained in race number 1, won't be starting from position number 15. Callum Spriggs, Sloane Frost and Mitch Levy on row 6. Aidan Coote, Adam Senior and Ben Stronach out of row 7. With the final row of the grid, the 2 local men, Mick Kelly and Stan Whiting, along with Western Australian Ashley Fleming. There we have that front row of the grid. Falzon, Waters, Maxwell, and the 2 Hondas on the next row of the grid. They certainly did do a great debut. As we get ready to do the NT once again. Superbike race 2, revs rise, and we're away. Great start in the YMI Superbike class once again for Daniel Falzon, who blasts off the line. And Josh Waters looks like he's got a pretty good start as well on board that Suzuki X-Star machine, and he comes down the outside and slots into 2nd place. Another great start from Crew Halliday. He's up to 4th place.
Yeah, but where's Maxwell again? Is he there? Yes, it looks like he's up in the 3rd this time, Wayne Maxwell. That's, although...
I think he was back in 5th place behind Brian Starring, is it? He's got...
Look at Bo Beaton there.
Bo Beaton's up to 4th place, I think, on board that race's edge, Panigale.
What a great start for Bo Beaton. This is the sort of start he needs. And there's Crew Halliday back there as well. Maxwell's way back in the pack again. He's down in 6th position. Gee, he's really struggling to get pace in the first lap at the moment, is Wayne Maxwell. I don't know if it's he's having trouble getting the bike off the line, but it's making the rest of his race very hard. Daniel Falzon, on the other hand, he's the starting machine. If he ever gives up road racing, he can take up drag racing and win for sure.
Well, there was some talk between Daniel Falzon and Dave McKenna doing a drag race demonstration here this weekend that didn't end up coming to fruition. But Daniel Falzon has got great starts, and Josh Waters now is tucked into the slipstream, trying to find a way past the very rapid Caterpillar Yamaha as they make their way down this 1.1 kilometre long front straight. Herfoss, another great start and great first lap, has put him in excellent position for the race.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Waters is just sitting in there nicely at the moment, tucked in behind Daniel Falzon. One thing I will say about the Suzuki, if you look at it, it's majestic on the circuit. It just holds its line beautifully. It's never out of shape. A great job. But Bo Beaton, he's doing a great job up there at the moment.
So we've got Motul Pirelli runners in 1, 2, 3, and then the next rider, Bo Beaton on board that Racer's Edge Panigale, is up into 4th place on board the Bridgestones. And of course, Bridgestone making a bit of a toe in the water this year for the Australian Superbike Championship, and Bo Beaton's doing a great job. How long will it be before a few people start going, oh, I think I might try a bit of that action, because Bo's going so well. And of course, we saw Josh Hook on board the machine at the last round. Hopefully next round we'll see both riders on board the Racer's Edge Panigale machines, and imagine the increase in development then.
Well, absolutely. I'll tell you what, one man we haven't talked too much about at the moment is Troy Herfoss. He sits in 3rd place at the moment. A very good start for him. And if anybody tweaked anything in between sessions, you've got to imagine it was the Honda team. The first time on the track, the first ever race, Superbike won here on that new 2017 blade, completely different to the model before it. They're developing as they go, and if they haven't tweaked that machine, I'd be surprised. And I think they have, because look how close he is to this lead already.
And one of the things that the team's really been working on with that new electronic package is the engine running into corners with the engine brake assist, etc., etc. And because they've never had that sort of stuff before, the bike is starting to feel a little bit different. There's a good battle between Matt Walters, who is ahead of Robbie Bugden, it looks like, in the battle for Kawasaki supremacy. They're currently sitting in 9th and 10th position. Only one position further ahead of them is Wayne Maxwell in 8th position on board bike number 47, the factory Yamaha.
Even though the Hatter race is on in Mildura this weekend, there's a whole family up there at the moment saying look who's in the lead of this race, because Josh Waters is taking off at the front again.
He is, and his brother Brody's actually racing in the Hatter race this weekend. That's why he's not here as his mechanic this weekend.
Can you imagine his mum? His mum's at the track at the moment watching on the live timing Josh and watching the Hatter race at the same time.
A 105.986 for Josh Waters, a new lap record, fastest lap of the race on lap 3, the first rider this weekend into the 105s. Oh, Josh Waters, he is on fire in the early stages of this race, and what a lap, because he managed to get past Daniel Falzon and do a 105.986 at the same time.
That is an insane lap time. 105 around here is incredibly quick. We looked like Daniel Falzon was dropping off the pace, but in fact Daniel Falzon also did an amazing lap time, just wasn't as quick as the man in front, Josh Waters. 105.9, that's quicker than qualifying, the quickest lap this weekend. They really are starting to get to grips with that Suzuki.
Well, we said the Honda guys might have made a few changes in between the race. I think that Phil Tate's got the magical wand out and waved it over that Suzuki X-Star machine, because Josh Waters has, I reckon he's pulled out even more on this lap. Let's see what this lap is as he comes to the line now for Josh Waters. He comes across the line to complete lap 4. And it is a 106 flat. That is actually the second fastest lap of the weekend. I think 106.2.
It is the second fastest lap of the weekend, but it doesn't seem exciting after 105.9.
That's faster than Wayne Maxwell's previous fastest lap of the weekend, the 106.040. And Falzon has actually done his fastest lap of the race, as has Troy Herfoss, but they're 0.7 of a second slower than Josh Waters' fastest lap.
Look at Corey Turner again. He's right up there behind Brian Starring on the 52 machine. He's having a crack this weekend.
He's up into 5th position, is Corey Turner. I tell you what, there's a man in Melbourne called Steve Mudford. He's jumping up and down now because the race dynamics, the race precision guys are right behind Corey Turner and Bo Beaton, and both of those riders using that HI-TEC suspension are right up there in this race.
Absolutely, I might go and get something, put it on whatever I own, I think.
Well, Herfoss looks like he's managed to get past Falzon and started to pull away as well. He's got a pretty handy lead over Falzon now as they actually come round to complete lap 5 of the journey. Yeah,
Herfoss had a big smile on his face because for the first time he managed to pass. Like the old Fireblade was slightly, it wasn't fast. This thing's a missile. He passed on the straight probably for the first time.
And Brian Starring's done the same thing. Corey Turner now is trying to line up Daniel Falzon, who has sunk back now to, what would that be? That would be about 4th or 5th position. And Turner having a look around, but here comes Wayne Maxwell. The party is about to get a whole lot more interesting, Steve Martin.
Yeah, it certainly is. The problem with Wayne is he's just left his run way too late again. He's let Waters and Herfoss get too far up the road, so he's just going to be fighting for the last spot on the podium at the moment if and when he gets past this gaggle of riders. And look at Falzon. Falzon is basically just running wide everywhere. He needs to just get through this weekend as best as he can now. Race 1 didn't go to plan. He was full of confidence, but 2 crashes will do that to you.
Well, the Hondas are certainly on the pace, and Luke Heismans is down in the pits with Sean Clark from Team Crank Protein Honda.
Thanks very much, Phil. I certainly am. Sean, how are you feeling about the pace of the SP2 with Troy now into 2nd, I believe?
Yeah, he's going really well, and Brian's not far behind him. We're going really well for our first weekend. Really, our first laps in Ang were on Thursday afternoon, so the development's come along really, really fast, but it's as good as we got right at the moment. I think we're capable to win. We'll just see how we go at the end.
And you've said that the bikes were actually feeling really good out of the box, so no surprises.
Yeah, well, Honda give us a good product to work with. No surprise there either, so yeah, all good.
Best of luck over the weekend. Boys, back to you in the commentary box.
Yeah, Bo Beaton's still hanging in there in the background. There's number 24, of course, Robbie Bugden, who's starting to make his way forward as well. Bugden last time through the traps, 106.9, so that was his first lap in the 106s for this race.
Well, Bugden was back in 10th only a couple of laps ago. He's now up into 7th position after getting past Crew Halliday, Bo Beaton, and also Matt Walters. But at the moment, I'll tell you what, all eyes are on this man, Corey Turner, on board bike number 52. He is having an unbelievable weekend, and he's now got to try and see how long he can hold off the rampaging Wayne Maxwell. The Wayne train, well, she's got a full head of steam, the Wayne train, and she's going to try and go steaming past Corey Turner, but it's going to be a big ask because Turner has been extremely late on the brakes as they come down towards the end of this very long straight, and everyone has commented about how fast Corey Turner's machine is. And not only is it fast, it's probably the loudest R1 out there in the field as well.
Well, as long as it's not breaking the dB limit that we have here, that's fine. We like that, bikes.
Maxwell all over the back of
There he goes.
Turner. It's up the inside into Pirelli corner. But look how smooth Wayne Maxwell was. He was late and deep down the inside, but perfectly on line.
Yeah, that was the perfect block pass there. But Corey's saying, well, you know what? I might just have a look up the inside. I like the way we passed there, Wayne. But the best thing that Corey can do now, to be honest, is, let's face it, he's a privateer. He's got the factory Yamaha. Wayne Maxwell, not too many people out there with as much experience as him, is get behind him. Look at Wayne. He's lined it up. He's come out, nipped to the inside, smooth on the brakes, left Corey nowhere to go, come out to the edge of the track. Corey stuck behind him and got on the gas nice and hard. That's as clean as you like pass. Corey tried to nip back up the inside, but couldn't do it.
How composed was Wayne Maxwell's bike as well? Speaking of composed, that's probably the words we'd use to describe Josh Waters at the moment. He is lapping incredibly consistently in the low 106s after the last couple of laps, 106.3, then a 106.4 on the last lap. He's lapping 0.3 of a second faster than anyone else on track. Troy Herfoss sitting in second place, but he's got a 2.2 second lead, has Josh Waters at the moment, over Troy Herfoss, and Brian Starring is a further 2 odd seconds back from his teammate, and could we see another Honda double podium here this weekend?
Well, it's looking that way at the moment, but Wayne Maxwell is starting to wind things up, isn't he? Poor old Daniel Falzon. I actually, when I nicked out of the box before, I went and saw Falzon, and he was, I reckon he had some sort of injury to his right-hand side. Remember, he went down a couple of times in race one, so that could be the reason he's being hampered now.
Well, Robbie Bugden's starting to close in.
That's Blair.
Michael Blair, unfortunately, down for the second race in a row, so it hasn't been a good day for Michael Blair on the 178 machine. Crashed out of 15th position.
Okay, lap times now. 106.4 for Josh Waters, 106.6 for Herfoss, 106.6 for Starring, 106.4 for Maxwell. Maxwell is on a charge.
They're starting to try and reel back in Brian Starring. The difference between Starring and Maxwell was about 0.9 of a second as they completed the last lap. So Maxwell has still got a bit of a work to do, even lapping a few tenths of a second ahead. It's going to take him 2 or 3 laps to catch up. And having a look at the tyre battle as well, we've got Pirelli's.
Oh, no, that's Maxwell.
Maxwell has gone down. Whereabouts is that?
That's Pirelli. That's Pirelli corner.
Pirelli corner. Look at the big pile of dust that's coming up there, and Maxwell has gone down. I'll tell you what, he looks like he may have even winded himself as well. Unfortunately, the Pirelli shot Yamaha has crashed out. Oh, there he goes, lost the front.
Let's hope he hasn't done a collarbone.
Oh, I think he's come into contact with the motorcycle there.
It's
as they've
really
slid off the track.
up, hasn't it? Oh, let's... he's up. Let's see if he notices any pain.
I think he's probably more thinking about what it's done to his championship as well, Wayne Maxwell.
I don't know. Let's just see. Look, I reckon he's all right. He's okay. Yeah, he's just disappointed because, you know, he gained a bag full of points on Daniel Falzon in race 1. Would have been somewhere up there near the front of the championship, but now he's just throwing all that away. And guess who is going to profit from that? The guy in second place in the championship, Troy Herfoss, at the moment.
Well, exclusion in the first race for Daniel Falzon. Yeah. No points in the second for Wayne Maxwell. Well, let's go down to the pits and Emma Francesco on a tyre update from the good people at Pirelli.
That's right, tyres, and the big topic this weekend is longevity in this heat here at Darwin. Gary joins me from Pirelli. He is a product expert. I know you brought some different front options and rear options. What has been the #1 choice this weekend?
Okay, well, #1 choice in the front has been the SC2 Pirelli Diablo Superbike Slick. It's the slightly harder version. Not a huge difference in outright performance, it just has a little bit different feel. Some riders prefer it over others. The second choice has been the SC1. With the rear, 95% of the field has gone with our soft option. SC.
Not surprising.
Yeah, SC0 has handled the heat really well. Very consistent over the entire run.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, thank you.
Right, here's a replay of an incident that just happened in the battle for Western Australian honours. Unfortunately, that's Ben Stronach who's crashed out. He was just ahead of Adam Senior. And a good battle there between the two Western Australians means that Adam Senior will now take the honours and Ben Stronach has crashed out. And once again, at the Yamaha hairpin. Haven't we seen some action in that area of the track this weekend?
Yeah, we certainly have. And, you know, we just heard from the tyres down there in the pits from Gary Crilly. But, you know, the thing is, the temperature is just getting hotter, the sun's out, and these tyres are working to their absolute maximum. It doesn't matter if you're on Bridgestone, it doesn't matter if you're on Dunlop or even Pirelli. We've seen them all crash because of these temperatures are extreme, and I guess that explains the Northern Territory perfectly.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Robbie Bugden, the underdog, has just moved up into 5th position. It was only a couple of laps ago he was sitting back in 10th and not getting a whole lot of championship points as Brian Starring. How did he get that bike turned into that corner and maintain anything like a racing line through the corner? The back end was stepping out. It was all over the show.
Because his teammate's just in front and he wants to beat him. That's how. But that's the thing. Yeah, look at him. Look, he's got it in here. He's starting to drift all over the place. The rear's got loose. He's not backing off, though. The front's let go there. He's tipped it in. He's on his knee. As soon as he gets his knee on the ground, he lets go of the brake lever and he gets it all under control. Wayne Maxwell's just walking past our box now, and he's all fine. He looks a little bit annoyed, but it's unfortunate for him that he's not going to finish this race.
A little bit annoyed. That's possibly the understatement of the year. Troy Herfoss putting in a very smooth and consistent ride here on the 13th of 17 laps. Brian Starring looks like he's actually might have even closed him down a fraction.
Well, you know why? Because Brian Starring was the fastest man on track last time through, 106.8. He was the fastest man for the last couple of laps.
He was the only rider actually in the sixes.
That's right.
Waters back to a 7.1. Herfoss a 7.1 as well. Brian Starring another 6.9, considering he had that massive moment down into turn 1. A couple of sensational laps here from Brian Starring, the 3-time Australian champion. In fact, the only man to have a 125 category championship, a Supersport championship and a Superbike championship to his name.
Well, not only that, he's raced overseas in Superstock, Superbike, and also MotoGP.
So one of the things I actually asked the guys at Honda is that you think that Brian's early adaptation to the bike so much quicker than Troy was due to the fact that he's used to all of these things in MotoGP. They said, yeah, it probably could be something like that, but Troy's never had to have those sort of things, so it's taken him a little bit longer to actually get used to the settings that he needs for the bike.
I don't know about that. I mean, like Troy's, you know, he's a class act, and I mean, he's raced overseas as well. He's ridden different motorcycles with this sort of equipment as well. I think, you know, different people go about things differently, and I mean, like, ultimately, Herfoss at the moment is the man that sits in second, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's have a look at the lap times as they complete that lap. Both Troy Herfoss and Brian Starring back into the sixes, with Herfoss the fastest man on track at 106.754. So this has been an unbelievable debut for Paul Free and the Sean Clark and all the guys at Cranked Protein Honda.
Who do you think's going to be the happiest at the end of the day today?
Corey Turner.
That's what I was about. I wasn't sure if you were going to be getting that answer correct or not, because Corey Turner sits in 4th at the moment. There's young Troy Gunther from the Next Gen Saint team, and he's doing a great job just to be out here. He had a massive crash here a couple of weeks ago.
And he's inside the top 10 as well, Troy Gunther, after, it's fair to say, struggled through the early part of practice and qualifying on board that Next Gen Motorsport Saint Unbreakable BMW, but he's now into the top 10 and second in the championship for the Superbike rookies as well, doing a great job. And I tell you what, he doesn't look like he's got any injuries in there. He's pushing hard.
Trust me, mate, I've spent a bit of time with him. He's quite injured out there at the moment, and he's doing a very good job. Mitch Levy behind him, he's doing a fabulous ride as well. Just sits in 11th, but you know what, he won't want to finish 11th. To finish in that top 10 is what, at the minimum, what they want to do. So he'll be pushing as hard as he can. Gunther looks like he's starting to just lose a little puff. Mitch Levy's looking for a way through if he can find it. And you can just see the way that he's sitting on the bike, Gunther, that, you know, he's got a wrist injury, a groin injury, and he's been gritting it out. He came off in practice as well, unfortunately, which aggravated everything. So he just needs to get through this next couple of laps. But Mitch Levy looks like he's going to nip up the inside, but no, Gunther comes back through.
Well, while we watch this battle, let's go down to Luke Heismans, who's in the pits with John Redding from Yamaha.
I sure am, John. Not the end result you wanted there for Wayne, but do you know what happened yet, and is he all right?
Well, Wayne's just walked in, so obviously he must be all right, but certainly from what we could see on TV, he lost the front. We'll have to have a debrief and actually find out exactly what did happen, but certainly hasn't assisted in his title chase at all at this stage. So we've got some hard work to perform from now on with both our riders to get them, get them back up on the podium for the next few rounds.
Thanks very much, John. I believe the race has just been red flagged, so back to the boys in the commentary box for more details.
Yeah, red flagged. It certainly has been, Luke. So an early finish. We were on the 6th, or We had completed 16 laps of the 17-lap journey, so that race will be declared. And I think you'll find that Josh Waters will be the winner. Not sure where the incident has actually happened.
Well, what it is that flag's the oil flag, so it means there's some sort of slippery substance on the circuit is what that red and yellow flag means. So perhaps someone's dropped something down there, and you can see there, look, somebody possibly got off and maybe a fuel tank or something split open there. Hopefully the information will come clean, but a good one thing that we know that won't change, even if it does go back a lap, is the order of the top three. Herfoss second, Waters first, and Brian Starring, of course, in third position. So that means that Waters has had a fabulous weekend.
It also means that 3 riders that came here with a brand new motorcycle this weekend that was untested under race conditions have finished the 3rd race of the weekend in positions 1, 2 and 3. In 4th position was the impressive Corey Turner. Keep an eye out for this young man from Queensland. A great performance this weekend on board his privateer Pro Cycle Dyno machine. Robbie Bugden finished in 5th position. Daniel Falzon in 6th. Crew Halliday in 7th. Matt Walters, one of his best results for the season so far this weekend, in 8th position. Bo Beaton in 9th. And Troy Gunther rounded out the top 10.
Huge thank you to Team Suzuki X-Star Australia. The new GSX-R 1000 was unbelievable out there, and I surprised myself a little bit in that last race. I didn't think that I'd go as fast as I did, so that's a huge credit to the team and all the guys that have been behind the scenes trying to make it all, because it's a new team, and to win the double up here is just unbelievable. So huge thank you to those guys, and also my personal sponsors.
I know it's hot here, I know you want to rest, but not too much rest for you because you're off to Suzuka 8 Hour yet again.
Yeah, so later tonight I jump back on a plane and over to Japan, and then start doing it all again in this similar kind of heat for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, but yeah, I'll celebrate dinner tonight with the team, and yeah, awesome.
That was better than most wins I've had, you know, for the championship. But in saying that, there was no way I was winning that race. I missed the gap when Josh passed Daniel. And Josh was trying, you know, he was trying real hard and overshooting a bit, which was slowing the lap time down a bit. But I don't know if you guys seen, but I slipped straight past him. That new SP2 is really good. So that's honestly the first time I've done that properly in a race for a long time. Didn't have to outbrake him, just straight past him on the straight, and it made the job a lot easier. But in saying that, like I said, I didn't have anything for Josh today, but just so happy for the Crank Protein Honda team, and we're just wrapped with the new bike and so happy with how the weekend's progressed.
I was really determined to go even a couple better, but as we are every race, but I feel like I'm knocking on the door here. So yeah, huge thanks to my Crank Protein Honda. It was so good out here. The new SP2 is such an incredible motorbike, and we're so lucky to have it here for this awesome circuit. So yeah, big thanks to my team and family and friends, everyone that supported me. Thanks to Cranked.
Well, after a pivotal weekend in the top end, Troy Herfoss now heads to Morgan Park with a 13-point championship lead over the Queenslander, Robbie Bugden. Daniel Falzon has slipped back to 3rd place with 155 points. Wayne Maxwell in 4th on 148. And Josh Waters, after 2 race victories, has now moved into 5th position and can challenge for the championship over the final round. It certainly has been a game-changing weekend. Down to you, Emma.
Thank you very much to Luke Heismans, who's done a fantastic job this weekend. Thank you also to Mark Brax, to Phil Harlem, everyone involved in what makes this come together, including you, Steve Martin. Final thoughts?
Oh man, what a weekend we've had here at Hidden Valley. It's we've seen some good things and obviously some teams that have seen some bad things. But all in all, it's been a fantastic weekend. All the championships are still alive, and it's still hard to pick winners going into the next round at Morgan Park. So all in all, a fabulous weekend here.
Well, thank you again for being here with us again at a very hot and sunny Darwin. I just want to thank again our commentators, our entire team, NT Tourism, and also our sponsors involved in this weekend. And just wanted to remind you of some Motorcycling Australia events that are coming up in July. You've got the Motul MX Nationals Round 7 in Shepparton, Vic, Yamaha Australian Off-Road Championship Round 9 and 10 at Kyogle in New South Wales. That's the 22nd to the 23rd of July. And also on the 30th of July, we've got the Motul MX Nationals Round 8. That's in Port Macquarie. And of course, you cannot forget our next round for ASBK. That is in Morgan Park in Queensland, 25th to the 27th of August. We can't wait to see you then. Make sure you stay up to date at asbk.com.au. Thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you next time.